call me a Trump worshiper all you want to, but I know what came from my Trump worship. The blessings of the Lord. When you put your hand to the anointing will put its hand to you. Make America great again. I need a prophet that'll say what I say about America. God found a man. He sought for a man.
In Mississippi, frustration is rising fast. Many Trump voters are now facing the harsh reality of a collapsing economy, lost jobs, rising prices, and fading hope. The Maga promise of prosperity is unraveling before their eyes. In this video, you'll hear real stories from Mississippians living through the fallout. Listen closely. The truth is hard to ignore.
You know, I got a question real quick, because I live here in Mississippi, and if you're from Mississippi too, answer me this. Why is it that our state is about one of the lowest states in household median income, and yet we're the highest state in grocery bills per month? How is it that we're the brokest state in the nation, and yet we spend more on groceries every month and our houses cost way more? I don't know.
This is a long shot, but I really have something to ask Mr. President Trump. Mr. President, I know that you and Melania, y'all don't have to cook and y'all don't have to go to the grocery store. Y'all have people to do that for you. However, us Americans, the people that voted for you, we have to go to the grocery store and we have to cook. And have you been to the grocery store lately? It is insane. The prices on everything is insane.
Let's give it up for Mississippi one time. So Senator Bradford Blackman of Mississippi just signed a bill to ban unprotected sex without the intent of procreation. It is called Contraception Begins at Erection Act. This essentially makes it illegal for a man to do you-know-what inside a woman without the expressed intent to fertilize the embryo.
$62 million canceled in this program illegally by Trump. You heard me correctly. Congress is supposed to approve funding, and they did, and he illegally canceled billions of dollars. However, this $62 million is an especially hardship for Mississippi. Yes, Mississippi voted for Donald Trump. And guess what? He has screwed Republicans over and over, and now they're having to go back and answer to you, the voter.
Why is Mississippi such a terrible state? When it comes to anything negative, Mississippi absolutely dominates the statistics. Just about number one in anything that has to do with violence, drugs, gun violence, you name it, including human trafficking, of course, being per capita. Well, for one, they were too good at growing cotton. The legacy of a plantation-dominated economy is a lot of poor white people who couldn't compete with the big planters, and a lot of poor black people who were owned by the big planters. The rest of the Deep South were able to diversify economically throughout the 20th century. Texas had oil, among other things. Louisiana also had oil and a major port. Alabama had NASA and some industry. And Georgia turned Atlanta into a major transport and media hub. Meanwhile, the rural elites that dominated Mississippi's government, these people being descended from the former planters, actually discouraged commerce and industry to some extent. Throwing cotton weevils in a couple of hurricanes and you have Mississippi. And Mississippi as a whole just lacks in a lot of important factors. In their education and poverty rates. And a lot of people that may have the opportunity to get an education or to do something successful feel a need to get out of the state. And when it comes to violent crime statistics, you hear a lot about cities like Detroit, Chicago. But Jackson, Mississippi is often overlooked, even though per capita, they're right there with Chicago and Detroit. Even have those cities beat in a lot of negative things.
When was the last time we put law enforcement on the streets in masks? I thought people robbing banks wore masks.
I'm here for the people, for my next generation.
Vote them out! Vote them out!
We're here, fighting for our democracy. We're fighting for due process.
I'm ready to get our government back and give it back to the people where it belongs.
Fighting for our freedom, for our rights, and no kings. No kings in the USA.
I know that there are a large number of people that are not happy with the direction of things.
ICE is just ridiculous.
Immigrants in our country are just not giving due process. I think we're starting to realize that we are becoming a lot more authoritarian.
Mississippi gets $3.33 for every dollar that it spends on Medicaid, right? Which is the highest in the nation. $3.33 from the federal government for every dollar the Mississippi government spends on Medicaid. Most New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Colorado, California get $1 for every dollar they spend. Medicaid matching, it's based on how poor the state is. Mississippi is a poor state, and they vote like they are a wealthy state. And what we need to do, just like my previous clip on West Virginia, Democrats need to go to Mississippi and educate those folks on who out there fighting on their behalf. The Democratic Party is the one fighting to keep Mississippi healthy, right? We're fighting for Medicaid. They get the most out of it. We're fighting for food stamps. They get the most out of it. The blue state that they do not like so much don't get much out of it, because matter of fact, the taxes that those states added to the federal coffers are what paying for Medicaid for Mississippians.
People in Mississippi do not have access to the internet. I don't get why every time I come on here stating factual information, y'all tell me I'm wrong. 28.2% of the population does not have access to broadband internet access. This is in reference to Mississippi's rural areas. Mississippi is considered a rural state because so much of the land is rural. So that's a very significant number. Here's a chart though. In 19 counties, more than 45% of the population doesn't have broadband internet access. But in general, because of this lack of access, if you can get a plan, it's extremely expensive. In fact, nearly 6 in 10 Mississippi residents are not able to purchase broadband internet at a price of $60 a month or less. So as I said before, Mississippi is one of the few states that are struggling with the issue of internet deserts, on top of food deserts and all those other deserts. Why do you think we're the most uneducated state in the country and continue to be? It's because of this.
Unless you live under a rock, you should be well aware that Mississippi is getting a data center. And I have a very big take on this one. There is absolutely not one reason on the face of this earth that Mississippi should be getting a data center if we cannot supply internet to rural communities. There is no reason on the face of this earth that Mississippi should be getting a data center if we cannot maintain cell phone service at all times. I drive 1 mile down the road, I don't have cell phone service. There is no reason on the face of this earth that we should be getting a data center if Jackson, Mississippi still has a water crisis. There is no reason in this world that we should be getting a data center if we cannot maintain our crime rates. There is no reason that our education system should be broken, but yet we're getting a data center. I understand that high in sight, this looks like a great opportunity, but do your research, contact your local representatives, and fight for our state, because we don't have livable wages, but we want to fill the pockets of billionaires. We have the cheapest land statistically throughout the country, but the residents of Mississippi cannot afford to buy it. But billionaires can come in and swoop it up. So there is no reason on the face of this earth that Mississippi should be getting a data center.
Okay, all I want to know is, why is everything so expensive? Like, I live in Mississippi.
Mississippi's falling apart, y'all. Straight up falling apart. Contagious monkeys on the loose. Murdering of elderly women in a church parking lot. SNAP benefits. Oh my gosh. All the chaos that people have said is going to come from that. Things that they're going to do. Sheriffs getting arrested for drugs. Oh, and the list goes on and on. Get it together.
Hey, man, I'm speaking for the people of Mississippi, man. Y'all leave our Mexicans alone down here in Mississippi. Leave them alone, bro. Leave them folks alone, you feel me?
I watched the very topical movie Mississippi burning today. Yes, it was free on Tubi. I've heard of white savior movies, but or white heroes, you know. I have never seen an actual like white anti-hero. These white guys come in this town and just start messing stuff up. Getting folks killed, houses burned down. That's why it's Mississippi burning. They start messing around in this town, and these racists go crazy and just start taking it out on the local black people. And they're like, well, I guess we just got to keep pressing. And a lot of people die, and a lot of houses burn, and every church, I think black church, burns down in that town, and they're just like meeting in the rubble of what was a church, singing songs. It's a horrible, horrible film. I think it really happened, though.
Donald Trump and his administration has shown us today their outright blatant racism. We have had two young black men that had bright futures ahead of them, hung from a tree in Mississippi. And we have yet to hear a word from Donald Trump in this administration. Nothing. He has said nothing. I blame this that's going on to Donald Trump and his administration. But I'm going to tell you one thing, and I'm going to say it loud and clear. Y'all better get it together. Y'all better get it together. And us black people, black, brown, if y'all don't unite and stop the BS, they out to get us all.
At Barry's, y'all look, all the blacks over here, this in Barry's now. And look at here, and they got all the whites over there, up in Barry's.
Across Mississippi's towns and rural communities, the pain is spreading. Families who once believed in promises of revival now find themselves struggling to survive. The frustration is real, and the loyalty that once defined Maga is starting to crack under the weight of economic reality.
What were you excited about when you cast that?
I'm just going to pull the pin on this grenade and let it go. I think there are large swaths of our society and our government that are dysfunctional for a whole host of reasons. And maybe it's time to burn the house down. Figuratively.
Wow.
Maybe we're doing too much. And if we could back off with our government and let the common citizen make more of their own decisions, then I can do whatever I want to do, and I can sink or swim at it. And my neighbor can do the same thing.
All right. Let's talk about the election. Who'd you vote for?
Speaking of Mississippi being behind the times in terms of race and racism, do you know what year the state of Mississippi formally ratified the 13th Amendment? The 13th Amendment is the one that abolished slavery. Nationally, it was 1865. But in Mississippi, it wasn't until 2013. 2013.
The people like in authority in a way, like they doing shit like embezzlement, you feel me? All the money ain't really going into what it's supposed to be going to, it's going in these folks' pocket. And you know the cost of living really low down here, so they living good down here, you feel me? They cool with living good, but they taking from corruption, hell yeah, corruption.
Would I still vote for Trump if I knew then what I know now?
I'm gonna guess that the answer is yes, but it's not for the reasons that you and I would hope it's for. But let's watch and see what she says.
I would not vote for Trump again if I had the choice to go back 1 year ago today. And not because I'm disappointed with a lot of the policy or the way things are going, but the cost of that vote and the loss of two people that I love dearly.
So just to be clear, she's not upset because of the policies and the things that are happening. She's not upset that food is actually more expensive, that people are not getting their SNAP benefits, that government is shut down, that people are literally starting to starve and being grabbed off the streets. She's not upset about any of those things, right? Because those things don't affect her directly. But let's find out what she really is upset about.
And now the strain is just unbearable. And I had hoped after a year that things would kind of smooth over and calm down, but it's just not getting better. And the pain of it is a lot. So I know some people will say, well, that's what you get for voting for Trump and blah, 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 blah. But I'm heartbroken over the relationship loss. And so
And there it is. She only cares because she was affected in a negative way. Because her friends, 2 people that were really close to her, said, I can't be friends with you anymore. And that makes total sense because no, we do not want to be friends with you. We cannot agree to disagree on human rights. We cannot be friends if you literally vote against my personal freedom, or you vote for someone who's going to physically, mentally, or emotionally harm me or someone I love. We cannot be friends if you support an administration that calls a huge part of our population an infestation or an enemy within. Because when you do that, you create legislation that harms those people that you say you love. But yet, I looked at your whole video, I watched your whole video. You do not care that it's affecting them. You only care that it affects you. And that's the problem with Trump supporters.
In Mississippi, there are currently 8 public universities in their state. And the Republicans want to close down 3 universities by the year 2028. In 2025, they will make the decision to what universities will be closed. Now, I'm not sure this is a good idea. Currently, there's 77,000 students enrolled in the public university system in Mississippi. I would say that Mississippi actually needs to have a school in every corner. The education system is very poor. To me, it sounds like they're downsizing. I mean, they're taking the budget, they're taking enrollment, they're taking any research project that the universities are currently doing, if it's feasible for them. But since they're Republican and they're the ones that came up with the idea, I can't help to think that there's something a little bit more sinister.
Everybody is fucking corrupt in government.
Bruh, how bad of a president do you have to be to flip out of all states? Mississippi has turned blue. Mississippi has, I don't think they've ever been blue. At least probably not in my lifetime. Not to mention all the other races for governors and all the other different seats at the state level. They all turn blue.
Call me a Trump worshiper all you want to, but I know what came from my Trump worship. The blessings of the Lord. When you put your hand to the anointing will put its hand to you. Make America great again. I need a prophet that'll say what I say about America. God found a man. He sought for a man. That's why for 9 years they tried to destroy him with Russia. They tried to destroy him with every lie they could, and everything they throw comes right back at them. Because when God finds a man, God anoints a man. And when God anoints a man, he appoints a man. And when God appoints a man, he protects a man from the plans of the enemy. God spoke to me yesterday the minute I heard the news. He said, if you don't get your feet on the ground where he's going to walk, I'll take my blessings off of you. He said, I've called you to lift your voice and tell my people who my man is, to stand behind it, to fight for him. This is war.
You want to know how bad they lost yesterday? The Republicans in Mississippi have had supermajority control for 13 years. And they fucking lost that yesterday. Democrats got 3 seats in Mississippi.
Baby, I cannot stop talking about these elections from the other night, but I don't hear enough of y'all talking about Mississippi. Mississippi, deep red Mississippi lost the super majority. So 2 Republicans lost to 2 Democrats. Deep red Mississippi. And if you don't know what losing the supermajority means, that means that checks and balances are restored and more Mississippians' voices will be heard within the community. That is big. Again, deep red Mississippi. Yeah, the citizens there wasn't playing either, along with all the other, elections that took part that night in all the other states. But I'm proud of y'all, Mississippi, because that was a big deal. And lastly, I have to end with, when are people going to realize that Republicans are not for the working class? Democrats have always been for the working class. Why would you vote against, I can't even get the words out. Why would you vote against needing assistance for your SNAP? Why would you vote against your health care being raised? When are y'all going to understand that? But anyway, I'm proud of y'all in Mississippi because y'all did that too.
And to everyone who voted blue when you vote red in Mississippi, thank you. Because now you will see that we're not the enemy. We never were. Mind you, we have difference of opinions on things. Yes, absolutely. But we were never the enemy. It was your own party who is destroying your farmers, who is destroying your healthcare, who is destroying every possible thing just so that a billionaire can billionaire and so that those files never get released. We tried telling you, and it's unfortunate you had to learn from experience, but thank you for actually voting the correct way to all the people who voted blue, because now you will see things will change. Now, mind you, again, we're not going to always agree with everything, but one thing we can agree upon is that the American people, we as a United States and people and citizens of this country, just want all of us to be able to live, cook, and make food and money for our families.
Mississippi is one of the most corrupt states in our country. And nobody, including the people that live in Mississippi, give
CSA raise Mississippi minimum wage to at least $15. God dang. There ain't no way folks still out here getting paid $9, $10 an hour. Come on now, gang. They can't even get you a cheeseburger.
People talking about, oh, Mississippi's cheapest state in the country. Mississippi's cheapest state to live in. That's the poorest state in the country. I'm going to tell you, there ain't nothing cheap about Mississippi. How much my car tag was in Tennessee? $73. My truck tag in Mississippi is $500. $500. On top of, I got to pay state tax out of my check. I got to pay hella property tax. Only thing cheap about Mississippi is the roads you got to drive on. Those some bitches are cheap. Cheap.
Okay, all I want to know is why is everything so expensive? Like, I live in Mississippi. Why is a house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, $250,000? Why is a car $40,000? Like,
if the cost of living has gone up by 50% since 2008, then why hasn't minimum wage gone up at all? My sister-in-law posted something yesterday saying that where she lives, minimum wage has been raised significantly. It's like $18 an hour or something in Denver, which is wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Ours in Mississippi is still $7.25, and that's the federal minimum wage. $7.25. I can remember when I was in high school working a part-time job when it went up from $5.25 to $7.25. And that I graduated in 2008, so it had to be around that time. So I Googled it today. The cost of living has gone up 50% since 2008. And the minimum wage is still the same. That's insane. I don't even know that much about it, but like, who changes that? And why aren't states keeping up with the inflation? It's crazy. But seriously, 50% since 2008 is crazy. Crazy.
I just got a letter in the mail from the power company talking about your power is about to get brighter. No, I want the same dimness around this bitch that I had last month and the same exact bill.
The electric company are the devils, bro. For real, man. I've been arguing with these people all day. And let me explain to you, man, if you guys had any experience with these new smart meters, the way that they read electricity now. Well, they just installed one at our house like 2 months ago. And we just got our first bill after it. And our bill skyrocketed. I'm talking about, it went from 600 kilowatts a month to 5,000 kilowatts a month. And This is impossible. Like, I live in an energy efficient home that's less than 1,000 square foot, guys. Like, for real. Like, I don't need a lot. So I get on the phone and I start asking questions. And so this lady, we're arguing back and forth, and she's going to say, stop being dramatic. So instantly I start going off. I'm upset. I'm asking to talk to a supervisor. Won't let me talk to a supervisor, nothing. So finally they tell me that that is right. And the way that my old meter was reading my electricity has always been wrong. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've only had $80 at most light bills. Now, I know in the wintertime things get up there, but man, we keep everything cut off. Literally, I only have a TV and a few things on at once. Really, really, really low. And the fact that they tell me that now my electric bill is almost $1,000, and that the way that the electricity has been read this whole time has been wrong through their meter, and they tell me that I got to pay for it, and if I don't, they're going to shut my electric off.
It is true that utilities, like everything else, are just continuing to impact everyday customers and putting more and more pressure on everybody's wallets. It is common during the winter to experience high bills when we've seen below freezing temperatures on a sustained basis. And that's what we had in 2026. We had more than 30 days below freezing, and that's unusual to have a sustained period of cold like that.
The governor of Mississippi got on Facebook and shared that we have increased our wages by 5%. And he was very happy about this, like it was a big deal. Sir, 5% doesn't even cover the increase in groceries lately, much less anything else. And these landlords think that their 1950s houses deserve to have $2,000 a month in rent. All the while, unless you're a nurse or a doctor or work in a factory, you're only making like maybe $8 an hour if you're lucky. 12 to 15 is a good salary around here. So yeah, it's not that great of news like you think it is, Mr. Governor.
Every month, I pay my utilities to a zero balance, and I need to know why my bill is $300 and something when I'm out the house 20 hours a day because I'm working.
Let's talk about Mississippi. So the healthcare situation is so bad in Mississippi because Republicans won't expand Medicaid or any of those other programs to help give their citizens in Mississippi better health care. So because of it, now Mississippi has decided, what do they call this? Now it's an emergency, a public health emergency about newborns. But they could fix it if they actually fix their healthcare system. And then let's talk about the persistent poverty that is Mississippi. It's in the top 10 states of the 10 worst states to live in due to poverty, especially if you have children. That's Republican leadership, okay? The state of Mississippi is is way down in the bottom, and that's due to Republican leadership. Republicans make communities more poor every time.
Like, truly, because I don't know how you survive. And that's so sad that you have to work to survive, and you're barely surviving at that point. You're just living. Probably barely paying your bills. Probably don't have no food in your refrigerator. And if you do, you're having to rely on government assistance because there's no way. There's no way. I went to go get breakfast this morning, and a small combo for breakfast. Just a small, nothing big, nothing fancy. $9.02. Whew. For breakfast.
The city of Jackson, basically, Jackson, Mississippi, the residents in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, is experiencing outrageous high water bills. Between $600 and $2,400 water bills, guys. Yes, $600 water bill.
Am I the only one raise your hand if your light bill and your gas bill and your electricity is out of control? You trying to figure out where is all these new charges? Well, I've been going off, okay, about my bills because I'm not understanding the big jump. So I went off. And they sent me a postcard, child. And it say, we know that the charges is out outrageous, and we want to tell you that we're sorry. It's due to infrastructure. I said the word correctly. Infrastructure. This is what they told me on this postcard. But basically it say, we gonna try to work on it, but right now we need our money. Damn. They sent me a postcard to tell me that, yeah, we know your shit real high, but we need our money. Lord, y'all, they won't even let me make a partial payment. They want the whole damn thing. I feel like I'm being pimped.
I live alone. There is no reason why my 1 month bill should be $675 when the house is pitch black. When we talk about these data centers, there is no question that the reason why our bills are as high as they are is because you've got these multi-billion-dollar corporations, Meta, Amazon, who come into our communities, who take all of their money and use it, don't pay a dime in taxes, and this is why our bills are the way that they are. We are making all the concessions as consumers in terms of what we can do to lower our bill. Lights, no heat. We're going to bed at night. I go to bed at night with no heat on at all. I turn my heat off at night and get in the bed so that my heat doesn't run all night long.
From higher power bills due to AI data centers to rising food prices, many say their paychecks just aren't stretching as far as they used to in Mississippi. For some, it's forcing tough decisions about what they can afford each month.
We begin with breaking news at noon. A major economic boost for Mississippi as the governor announces a $25 billion expansion for the state. 3 on your side's Holly Emery joining us live in Madison County now with details. Holly, what can you tell us?
Well, Ashley, you heard that right. It's actually a $12 billion additional investment here in Madison County, as well as other parts of the metro, and we'll get to those details a little later. But you can already see some of the work that's happening in Madison County off West County Line Road. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see there are concrete slabs already being laid down. Buildings are already going up for some of the data centers that Amazon is bringing to this area, all, again, in that $12 billion investment happening from Amazon. Now, let me break it down where exactly all that investment is going. $11 billion is going between both Madison County campuses. That's the one here on West County Line Road and the one all the way up towards the mega site. Now, that's going to create 700 jobs. The majority of the jobs are going to be here because that's where the additional buildings are going to be. Now, the other $1 billion is going to the city of Clinton, and that's going to create 100 jobs for their data center. The announcement was made just an hour ago in front of lawmakers, county, and state leaders. And here's what the governor had to say about today's investment.
As you've heard me say before, and you'll probably hear me say it again, Mississippi is not attracting the industries of the future. We're building them. When I got elected governor and was sworn in 2020, we made a decision that Mississippi was going to compete with the best in the world, that we were going to invest in workforce development, that we were going to invest in our infrastructure, and that we were committed to investing in innovation.
So how many physical data centers will that be for our area? Well, it's unclear at the moment, but there's already 10 current buildings in Madison County from the last $10 billion investment that was made 2 years ago to this day. So it's safe to assume that with $12 billion, that number is going to nearly, if not more than double the amount of data center buildings that are currently in Madison County. And that puts the total at $25 billion of investments only from Amazon alone here in Mississippi.
At this point, I don't know if there is a corner of the state of Mississippi that is actually safe. Today, we hear that Clinton, Mississippi, is getting a data center. Yesterday, most of Rankin County and Hinds County were under a stay indoors warning because the air quality is horrible. And guess what? The data centers haven't even gone up yet. Like, isn't that crazy that the air quality is already bad without the data centers being here? So now we've got a full trifecta. Hinds, Madison, and Rankin County, they're getting data centers. I just did a video because there's a company, Black Mountain Battery something. Anyway, they want to build a battery storage facility for lithium-ion batteries on Trickham Bridge Road in Brandon, Mississippi, so that subdivisions like Victoria Place or Stratford Place or North Brandon Estates, East Haven Estates, Evergreen Estates, those subdivisions can be subjected to the harms, equal opportunity and all. I want to just remind you that all of this is only made possible because of legislation championed and signed off by the governor, Tate Reeves, who would not understand actual economic development if it slapped him in his face, but somebody should actually try that. Because he thinks that the way that you enhance education is to completely change it. He's literally running all across the country, touting the Mississippi Miracle, but he is pushing for a school choice program here in the state of Mississippi. That's what he thinks. He also thinks economic development is just allowing corporations to come in and pollute our air, steal our natural resources, and kill people, because the actual harms are that bad. There was a big tada, back up, what was that, last week, 2 weeks ago in South Haven, Mississippi, because residents can't sleep. The noise from XAI's plant up in South Haven, they can't sleep. The air quality is horrible. Their kids can't go outside. And guess what? They want that to happen in, Brandon, Meridian, Mississippi, Vicksburg, Mississippi, Clinton, Mississippi, Ridgeland, Mississippi, Canton, Mississippi, South Haven. They want it everywhere. Isn't that crazy? I mean, we could do things that would actually grow the economy. We could provide potential grants or tax abatements to current businesses that are already operating here in this state. By Mississippi residents, we could do that. We could provide incentives for home builders to build affordable housing. There's a number of things that we could do to actually stimulate economic growth, but we're not interested in actual economic growth. We just want the easy way. We'll just say, oh, we've got corporations who are willing to invest billions and billions of dollars, and we're going to call that economic growth, even though we know that we have given them a fee in lieu of property taxes, and the actual investment is not in the residents. It's not in the communities that will be harmed. It's just the cost of construction, in which these corporations can come in and they can hire whatever contractor they want to. Oh, and the build out energy gets 100% reimbursement with no requirement to actually have public hearings or bids or anything. Oh, and the Public Service Commissioner, they can't do anything about it. SB 2001 ensured that. I just would like to remind you, once again, Republicans cannot govern, and the state of Mississippi is the poster child for that. Every community in this state will be harmed by data centers because for some reason, Tater Tot thinks that welcoming in corporations that cause actual harms, not just to the environment, not just to our water, not just to the increase in utility bills, because guess what? They are lying when they say your utility bills will not go up. Oh, and Black Mountain, or Black Mountain Battery, whatever it is, yeah, they're supposed to help with the infrastructure build out, so the grid won't be strained, because data centers require a lot of energy. Yeah. Anyway, just in case you were thinking maybe you were safe because you are hidden in the hills in Clinton, Mississippi. Maybe you think your zip code prevented the harms from reaching you. There is no depths that Republicans will not go. All they need to do is make sure that the check clears and you can have whatever you want.
Did y'all know that Tupelo, Mississippi was the first TVA city, which is the Tennessee Valley Authority, which I don't know all the correct words, but you know what? I realized two of my favorite couple creators, which I didn't really follow a lot of content, couple creators, are Bryn and Mario. Loved Bryn before she met Mario, now they're great. Anyways, something they said when they were talking about Palestine and Gaza, they said, we don't have to make a perfect video, we just have to say something. And so along those lines, I don't have to know all the words and all the technical things. If you look this up on TikTok, you can find the videos telling you the exact things. But this is something that we as Mississippians, we as Southerners, we as people, I think across, it might be 13 states, but it also might be, I don't want to say 30 and be wrong, but also I'm just keep recording and y'all are going to have to look it up. Sorry, it's probably 13 though. Right now, it is a privatized resource, but it's regulated by the government, but in a good way. Anyways, basically, the TVA helps give all of us affordable electricity, right? Yes. Even if you use all the different lots of different places covered by TVA get affordable electricity because of them. They're looking to make it a corporation, like make it like profitable. Not only that, Elon Musk is looking to like use it to power and cool off his data centers. And also, so then I was like reading comments from people who don't have TVA and like are in other parts of the country, and like their power bills. I thought mine was bad because I keep it on 68 in the summer. I have to be cold. I'm sorry. Sorry. And it still costs $1 million. But imagine what it would be without TVA. Y'all go look it up. I don't know. Okay, I actually have more to say because the reason I haven't posted a lot of videos that I think are important to post is because like I have to say all the names right and all the things and blah blah blah. No, I don't. I just have to like help spread information the best I can. I was on TVA's like chairman's website, like trying to find all the things. Donald Trump has been like up their butt trying to get the person, like the head person on their board or their I don't know all the words. He has been so hard trying to clear the board out of everybody who's qualified to be on there so he can put some kind of cronies in there. Like, if Donald Trump is focusing his energy there, maybe we should also focus our attention because what's going on? I don't know, but something to look at.
The stories you've heard today highlight how rising utility, rent, and grocery costs are reshaping daily life across Mississippi. For many Trump voters and others, these financial pressures are raising deeper concerns about the economy and their future. These voices remind us that economic challenges aren't just statistics, they're lived experiences. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what people are facing, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to help more people hear these stories. And click the video on your screen to see what's happening in other states across America.